WHO TV 13 Des Moines. And now, the news team that's making a difference in central Iowa. Scott Pope, Janet Witters, Rick Silvestrini on sports, and Mike Burris with tomorrow's forecast. This is News Center 13 at 10.
Good evening and thanks for being with us. They're being labeled as traitors by their government.
But that is of little concern tonight to thousands of East German nationals. The East German government has now given the go-ahead for 5,000 refugees to migrate to the West. The refugees have been staying at West German embassies in Prague and Warsaw. Today, they were loaded onto trains and buses for the trip across the borders to West Germany. Most of the refugees are expected to settle in West Germany and several other Western European nations. The East German government tonight is calling the immigrants criminals, saying they were only allowed to leave because of humanitarian reasons. It is unclear whether the government will allow future migrations.
The Chinese government is wishing itself a happy birthday today. Festivities for today's 40th anniversary taking place in Tiananmen Square. That's the very place where troops killed hundreds of Chinese student protesters in June. Chinese officials spent much of the day taking credit for suppressing the student democracy movement. Security was tight at today's observances. Troops and police sealed off the area to everyone except for invited guests and plainclothes security officers. There was no celebrating today from Chinese students in Washington. They took to the streets to keep the dream of democracy alive. Several thousand students rallied in front of the Chinese embassy. They say they don't want the world or the Chinese leaders to forget the Beijing massacre.
We just show our angry for the government, and we want them to know that we don't give up. We will fight until we get the real democracy in China.
The protest included a march and a new flag designing contest. Students in Hong Kong also turned out to rally in the rain today.
9 days after Hurricane Hugo devastated parts of South Carolina, another storm is brewing there tonight, a political storm. 135,000 people are still without power in Charleston. Another 50,000 have homes, but they can't live in them. Residents complain about government red tape and long delays for federal disaster relief. Still, many are thankful for what they do have and express those thanks today at church services throughout the city. Among those attending services, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, a South Carolina native. Well, with one victory in hand, President Bush takes his proposed capital gains tax cut to the Senate this week. And although the measure did pass by a surprising margin in the House, Senate Majority Leader George Mitchell tonight is predicting defeat in the Senate.
The plan approved in the House and supported by the President will not pass the Senate. It's a plan that's wrong for the country. It's unfair. It will do for the deficit and the economy what crack cocaine does for users. A quick short high followed by a long, painful depression.
Mitchell said a different version of the Bush proposal is expected, though, to pass in the Senate. A tax cut would reduce the tax paid on investments like stock dividends and bank dividends by about 30%. The president says it will spur economic growth throughout the country. Democratic leaders say it is just a gift for the rich. Jenna?
Some bad news today for Iowa farmers. After a 3-year upturn in the farm economy, most farmers can expect a decline in income this year. The Department of Agriculture is forecasting a decline of about 13%, with national farm incomes dropping to $21 billion for 1989. That's compared to $24 billion in 1988. The declines are being attributed to a fall in the commodity prices and less federal subsidies. They're calling it a miracle. No one was killed in a fiery bus crash near Dubuque yesterday. 46 people were taken to a local hospital after a car rammed into the bus. It was carrying a Wisconsin junior high school band. 9 people remain hospitalized tonight, including the driver of the car. Most are in good or satisfactory condition.
Still no arrest tonight in connection with a shooting in West Des Moines overnight, and there may not be. It happened in the Valley Junction area shortly after midnight. Officials say Robert Olson was shot in the foot in the 100 block of 5th Street. He and a companion, Gary Smuck, were taken to Broadlawns Hospital where both men were treated and released. Police say they are still looking into the circumstances surrounding the incident. The site of the world's largest cocaine bust still causing problems for Los Angeles police tonight. 20 tons of cocaine was confiscated from this warehouse on Friday. So far, 8 arrests have been made. The cocaine is now gone, but police are trying to keep looters and souvenir hunters away. Those looters moved in yesterday right after federal agents removed the last of the cocaine. Police say nothing of evidentiary value has been taken, but one officer was quoted as saying the warehouse will need some remodeling work. A lot of the fixtures have been stolen.
It's a neighborhood known for drugs and prostitutes, but today residents of Des Moines' near North Side took back their streets, at least temporarily. Mary Mills with more on the residents' ongoing fight against crime and violence.
The kids played, the adults socialized. There was plenty to eat and lots of smiles. For residents of Des Moines' Riverbend area, it was a block party to beat all others.
We just get to run around and eat lots of things.
But aside from the fun, residents had a serious message as well.
We're trying to keep all the drugs out of the neighborhood so that way nothing would happen to the children that's in the neighborhood and the grown-ups.
That's a big challenge for residents here. Once an affluent area, Riverbend is now better known for crime and violence. Drug dealers work the corners, prostitutes walk the streets. And all this near Moulton Elementary.
That's the main action right in here. I see people get taken to jail, people getting killed and stuff.
Fed up with the problems, neighbors banded together this summer. They held meetings, rode in parades, and now organize this block party.
When we started talking to people, no one that lived in this neighborhood said, I don't want to do anything. They said, what can I do? Tell me what to do.
Some residents feel the city hasn't done enough to help them. Today, they finished boarding up a neighborhood eyesore. It's a vacant house which has become home to dealers and vagrants.
This is what they boarded it up with, this snow fence, and it took about 5 minutes before, this house was open again.
Residents here realize these barricades are only temporary. The prostitutes and drug dealers will probably return to 7th Street tonight, but the hope is with more events like these, the residents can push the pushers out of their neighborhood. In Des Moines, Mary Mills, News Center 13.
Residents say one thing they're working on is a night patrol. They'd like to have people pair up and walk the streets as a way to discourage illegal activity.
Coming up next, a possible change of heart from Philippine President Corazon Aquino.
And Marshalltown residents celebrate autumn with their version of the Ruan Grand Prix. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
All duplications must go. As of October 10th, Homemakers East and Homemakers West will not carry identical merchandise. That means the largest inventory in this area at liquidation prices. Never again will so much furniture be sold for so little. Warranties will be honored. Credit terms available. Shop early for best selection. You won't beat our prices. Homemakers East on Humble. Homemakers West on Douglas. Iowa's largest furniture stores. Ford Motor Company has announced all current rebates and incentives will end October 4th.
Hi, folks. I'm Jim Burko. Now through October 4th, West Suburban Ford will double the factory rebate on every 89 car and truck in stock. To save even more, combine the double rebate with special added discounts of up to $3,000. Drive home a new 89 Thunderbird Super Coupe and save over $4,300. Or a new 89 Bronco 2 and save over $4,700. Remember, folks, all Fords are created equal. It's the dealer that makes a difference. Come see why at West Suburban Ford, Des Moines.
If you don't have a high-efficiency Heil furnace, you could be throwing money right up the chimney. A Heil furnace keeps you warm without freezing the rest of your budget. Here's how to get one.
Heil 9580 GF gas furnaces and natural gas, your best energy value, just plain save you money. Give you a fast payback. Stay warm and comfortable and let the money you save pay for your new Heil gas furnace. See Kinseth Plumbing and Heating Company, Belmont, and Hamley Heating and Cooling, Nevada.
And you could get home for your mother's birthday.
What are you going to get her?
Already have.
It's from Joseph's. Oh, Dad, she's going to love it.
How do you know? You don't know what's inside.
I don't have to. She's always loved everything from that store.
She should. It's the best. Well, aren't you going to ask me what it is?
No, I love surprises. Especially from Joseph's. I'll wait till Mom opens it.
For quality and value, you'll find the most beautiful surprises at Joseph's Jewelry.
Former President Ferdinand Marcos may be buried in his native country after all. Philippine President Corazon Aquino says she will respect whatever the Supreme Court says on the matter. However, Marcos supporters are still trying to pressure the government. About 1,000 people rallied in central Manila to allow the late president's body to be brought back from Hawaii. The military has been put on alert but says it will not intervene as long as the protests remain peaceful.
An historic meeting between the Pope and the Archbishop